Hello, my loves. Happy Sunday to you all. Hope you guys are doing great. It's a beautiful Sunday. It's storm today. I'm pretty sure it's going to rain again um, tonight because the rain clouds are like in the sky heavy. So I said to myself, listen, get part 2 out and, of the video out and so forth. So yeah, so on to part 2 of why I left, why I no longer live in Congotown. So guys, pretty much, like I said, why my stuff was out, I was able to find a guy, like a tow truck, not really a tow truck, like SUV. He was moving someone else, and they had like so many like different recommendations for me. Like, listen, he's gonna come back and bring your stuff. There's a apartment next to me, nice place, because I was familiar with the area, so I kind of knew what they were talking about, and so forth. And I was like, okay, yeah, great. So I was excited. So when he came back, the tow truck to get my stuff, I had told them, since it was still a little early on in the morning, like late morning, early afternoon, I was like, let me get us something to eat. I went and got us some egg and bread, some butter, and some soft drinks. Everyone loves that. So got us that. And then when I came back, I noticed that the atmosphere and things had changed. And now the driver was saying something about taking me to Numbers Town. At first it was like, well, let's take you to the place where your friend, the guy that was here, was talking about. And I was like, no, he already left and went to the court. I prefer, the places that you guys were talking about, because remember, William, the guy that used to be with the self-proclaimed property manager. I don't know what he said to them. He already given the phone to the guy from the court, and Big Mouth Princess. She calls herself Princess. The owner of the property had literally tried to blacklist me. Had fed him a lot of false information. So the man already left right then. Make sure I got a ride, and he left. And so yeah, the driver was like, well, let's take you to that your friend place. Now all the different options and things they have for me and my things, that was no longer available and stuff. And then William was like, yeah, take. I don't know, it was weird. They seem uncomfortable. They seem scared. So it's like, whatever, wherever you say you're take me there. It will be short term, and then I'll find somewhere to live long term. I was like, okay. Pack my stuff. They literally busted my glass table. Like, I don't know what he did. He took his legs, put it inside, busted it. And at this time, the self-proclaimed property manager was sitting there. Now I don't know, it's something about the eagle or fed. And I told him, y'all remember, I let her know, listen, all of y'all remember my full name. You remember my name. You remember this face and my name. And she's telling the guy, oh, you should have packed the stuff the way, pack it that way. Now she's giving order. They've shaken hands. They're feeling big. Ego is just there. She calls herself, what's her name? Sano. No, Kona. Kona. My cousin name is Sano. Calls herself Kona Zaza, which is not even her name. But whatever. They're feeling big, pumped, whatever. So yeah, wherever he's saying for them to take him to, he was telling them to take him to somewhere else. And I'm like, okay, we'll take you to the place, the new place, since the stuff happened with the court. Then the chairperson will also be there to help you make the place very cheap for you. I said, I don't care. I just I want my stuff to be packed and be removed from under the sun. So they took me to Congotown, which is literally like 10 minutes away from where I used to live. Took all that little shortcuts, and I could see those faces, recognized faces. Now I recognize all of them. They took me. Now, when we got to Congotown, my first impression of Congotown was, oh, the place is very coastal. It's very right next to the beach, very, very pretty, but it's the hood. I'm like, Beatrice, you're cute. You're from Congotown. Okay, let's think about beautiful big cats. Rat. I'm just kidding. Okay? I'm like, listen, you're from Congotown. Okay? No fear. But I was just looking at the place, like, there's a lot of new developments and stuff going on, like, tons, like, almost everywhere. Places being rebuilt. And then the existing places were, like, these smaller houses and stuff. And I was like, oh, okay. Now I get it. We looked at 3 properties. The 3 properties we looked at were all like small. Like my furnitures are huge. It's not. I'm looking at those houses like how are they built? Like little, and then you go. I don't want to live in there. I was like, no. And then one guy told me, he was like, look, and you see the 2 rooms next to each other. Take one, put all your stuff inside, and then the other one you just live in there. Everything plays safe. No. Now, while in the process, we are going around, and I noticed that the driver kept walking off, like disappearing. I was like, but I'm very attentive, because at that point, I understood the game of what was being done. I was like, where you keep disappearing to? I said, don't move, stand right here, you shut. Where you going? Oh no, Jared, no, stand right here. But your team, no, you stand right here. You understand? You stand right there. So this lady, all of us, like my furniture, my stuff drew a lot of attention. New in a place, and other lady was like, "There's a room right here. Rent that place. It's okay. It's just you." My furniture's came feel. Oh yeah, furniture, pee. Yeah, okay. Send me to the place that I ended up renting. She sent me there, and I went to that place. Um, the girl was like, "Yeah, my dad is renting." She's not a girl. We're all the same age. She's a little older. She just deformed. She has 3 fingers on, I think, her left arm, and it's a little flipped. Let me stop. But yeah, she was a little deformed, but we're all the same age. Um, Yeah, she was like, yeah, my father's renting. Let me go call him. I'm gonna call this tall guy with these small, picky teeth. He is small. He didn't tell you like to show him. I don't know. Looking at him like, you what? Yeah. Let me not. I don't want to say something stupid. I'm like, okay, whatever. You're renting a place? Yeah, renting a place. Told me the price. He showed me the place. He said he's staying here. He showed me the place I'll be renting. I said, okay. He said, you sleep here for the night. I said, okay. So the home, those property was sort of like built like in like a strip of little houses, which is interesting. Um, but yeah, I was like, okay, whatever. And then he was like, the place that I saw, like the room was very big. But the living room was tiny. He was like, we're already in the process of extending the place, so you came perfect time. Okay. He said you will have it extended, fully extended, everything would be done within 4 days. I said, okay, cool. I paid the guy, gave the people, everyone else around me some money, and I tried to give him money. He was like, no. I was like, oh, okay, wow, you're different. We gave the lady that technically is supposed to be the quote unquote wife, the mother of the house, give her something, put it in your pocket, you know, since I'll be staying here for 1 to 2 days and so forth. So, okay, that was okay. I came with a fresh mind, fresh start. Um, the rain is about to start. Let me hurry up. Fresh mind, fresh start. What time is it? 9 minutes. I said, okay, whatever. Um, Now, the next day, I don't know, things started looking weird, a little fishy. I kind of felt like, okay, they're all part of the same scheme because when I explain everything, you look at people's expression, you start looking at different people that show up, you say, okay, yeah, they're all part of the same scheme. Now, the thing that I started feeling a little uncomfortable because I remember initially that everything was put in one room, but then my couch, my beautiful couch, separated, put in this other place where he calls his guest house. He was trying to actually get me to stay in that place, just use the room. But I was like, no, all my furniture, the majority of my stuff in here, I want to be in here. And I can wait for the 4 day, for the 4 days it would take for you to expand the place. And it was just weird. People kept coming and looking at stuff. People just kept showing up, different people, and all of this stuff. And I was just like, listen, you would be okay. All of your stuff would be good, and so forth. And uh, the things I've been through. Now, this individual, the quote unquote family, like the wife, whatever, whoever she claimed she was, kept telling me to use different water. Diet water, our water, yeah. We all can use the same water. I want to mix the water. Oh no, that water I fixed that. That water, they use that water to cook with it. No, if I'm using it to cook, you gonna use it too. I mixed it. She got pissed off, whatever. So I started seeing, different things just happening. People, a bunch of people just coming, like guys that look like they shouldn't be in that area, well dressed, these expensive glasses and stuff. I'm like, okay, whatever. Let them come do their stuff. And I remember, like, I really try to be nice to the property quote unquote manager and no owner, whatever. I try to, take care of him. Like in the morning, I'll go buy cold bowl and I bring the food, and I'll buy soft drinks. And then I remember probably the second day I gave him 500 LD. For the soft drinks, they usually charge me between $60 and $70. I said, okay, you buy it, put it in the fridge. That way I don't have to keep going, to grab one or two here and there for you. Now, interesting thing, the next day he told me to go get him soft drink. And I was like, oh, remember I gave you money yesterday? Oh, I'll buy it. I said, okay, whatever. Bought soft drink, give it to him. The next thing he came and said to give him $50. And I made it clear that I didn't want to go through that same experience where I pay for a property, like I pay for the fencing, the gate and stuff around. The lady called herself Princess. That's the property owner where I used to stay. I didn't want to go through that and so forth. Pay, and then the next thing you know, you end up in court, and then there's something different because people try to steal from you and steal your stuff and do a lot of malicious stuff. And I made that clear, and I said, if it's going to my rent, as long as it's written, it's fine. He said he needs to pay for something that has to do with the house. And I said, what I can do, I can actually give you half of the rent money. That way you have that, have to do whatever you need to do. And then we can sign a promissory note for you to get the remainder once everything is done. Now, his attitude did a 360. I don't know, like, he'll be doing stuff and I don't know, stuff would be too close to my eye or he'll move it, he would do stuff like, I don't know, whatever. And I'm like, yo, you be careful with, whatever it is you're doing, you're too close to me. You don't have to stand next to me and do this. You'll see me sitting somewhere and then he will say he needs to do this and then he'll come start banging stuff. But I'm like, you're strong, Beatrice. And then the interesting thing is, he has said that he was from Limba. He's Limbadian. He was like, oh yeah, from Tapatan. He's from the same town that I'm from, the same tribe. I was like, no, you're not. He got this ugly picket teeth. Like his teeth very small, like It looked very different. Phenotype looked nothing like the other crippled one, whatever, deformed. Both of them clean. That's what they were all from time to time. You know you're not at all. Because there's something about the human heart. When you see your own people, your heart opens and you can see that. I can look at the phenotype and tell you not my people. Then there's you six, you not my people. Whatever. I said okay, whatever. But then he made comments that he didn't like cats. He didn't like the traditional way of how we made the GB, our traditional food, and he just said a lot of stuff. Like his attitude shifted. His true colors started showing. So the funny thing is, I don't know. I was just uncomfortable with people keep going into the place where my furniture was. These guys and things that didn't look like it belonged in that place just kept coming in. So as soon, I kept checking the place to see if it was extended. Soon the place looked decent. I woke up one morning, my head said, take your furniture and take all your things and put it in that place. I took all my stuff. I'm like, oh, you're moving your stuff in? Yeah, I'm moving my stuff in. I moved all my stuff in and so forth. And the farm girl, Three Fingers, she came to help. Now the thing is, what I noticed, one reason why I decided to make sure all of my stuff was in one place is just the lady that cleaned. She was the mother of the house. She used to do. They used to do a lot of grotesque stuff. Like would tell you, okay, this is water. This is your water. This is the water you used to cook. You use that water to cook with a put water. Water would be right close to the bathroom. Bathroom open. People doing stuff. No tissue, whatever. Water there, water. No, we all use the water. Mix it. One day I mix it. Pissed her off. Oh, that water. I fixed the water for you. Oh no, yeah. You cooking? That water you use that put use that water. Oh, I mix that one. Yeah. It's okay. I can use it one too. Nothing spoil. You know. It's not like you whatever is not in your water. We can use the one you use it. And I just noticed, I moved all my stuff in, and and he kept playing with the current and stuff in the house. And I remember I made a comment. He said, "It's his house. He can do whatever he want to do with the house." So I went in and sat outside. I remember my body just kept heating up and stuff. But I was like, "You're good." But you just kept playing with the current. But I'm like, the lights. I don't need the lights outside on. I don't need that much light. I don't really deal with that much light. He was like, his house, do whatever you want to do. I said, okay, go for it. Left it alone. So by now it was clear who I was dealing with, people. And then I overheard a conversation between him and this other lady that came to visit once. She was telling him about what happened, and I heard the name Princess, and I overheard that conversation. It was a confirmation that they all knew each other, and some of those investment property, guess who they belong to? Rural. But yeah, and I noticed that when I would cook my food, because they already made it clear that if the food, what time is it? 18? 18 minutes? If the food didn't have meat in it, they don't consider food or not eat it. They already told me I was vegan and so forth. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful I didn't eat from them. But I'll be cooking, and then the next thing I just see him or her, one of them, and three, and just like will be wasting water in the morning. Water stuff, black stuff mixed up, just smelly stuff. Water will be wasted in front of the place. I'll be cooking. Your food smells sweet. You're cooking your lid. GB, or you like your pumpkin soup, and it is sent, everything just changed. And then I noticed, I said, so you're playing with demonic energy, and you're playing with my stuff. Okay, because before we got that, I told this guy, I said, you stay close. Don't let that enchant you out. We're just gonna be Beatrice. But it didn't want that. That open. It was on and popping from that point on, because I also noticed that these other two girls moved in. People just started occupying the rest of the places around me. One looked Fula, the other sort of a Nigerian look. She can pass for Liberian, but I don't think she's Liberian. The other girl, uh, Miss Caramel Big Butt, even though before I still like her, I don't got a problem with her. Because she's not demonic. The cripple one was very demonic. Like you would be like, yo, that's the personification of like of a demon in human form. Like that thing was demonic. Like all the stuff, the nasty stuff. They'll always talk about feces and different stuff. I'll be cooking and tell little boy to go poop and do. Just it was nasty. It was nasty, but my faith is strong, and I learned one or two things, and I started letting them taste, giving them a taste of their own medicine because I'm a fast learner. Once I peeped game, I was like, okay, whatever. And plus, then my head opened. I was like, oh, it was on and popping. I remember before they were just sitting under the tree, and then as soon as I opened my door, um, what is that? As soon as I opened my door, they had these guys that like well dressed with like these expensive glasses. They'll be looking at my stuff. I remember the other guy patting the girl on the back like good job, talking about the fridge. They started asking me questions about my furnitures, and then the other girl, the one with the big butt, I remember the one that's Liberian. I remember her. I think she's a boss. So I remember her fixing up the place. It's like a bunch of them just started moving in. Fixing, I remember her fixing up the place, and her decor looked just like my furniture's. Now, blue, like just like my couch, blue and white wallpaper, and then the other one like some gold. And I said, that's interesting. Oh yeah, your decoration looked just like my furniture's. The third time around, she didn't want me to enter the place, so they started blocking me when I went in there. Yeah, they started fixing up the place. They all moved in. But I was like, oh, y'all better fuck around and find out you chose the right one to mess with. And yeah, they try to treat me like their own little, property and stuff. And I remember the guy from the court, I spoke with him like a week later. He said he'd been trying to reach out to me. I was like, yeah, I have my phone off and stuff. He was like, where are you staying? Let me make sure everything's good. I said, okay. Now, it was actually closer to Christmas because I wanted to give him this little lit and say thank you. Um, he insisted on seeing where I was staying. He said, let me see the place. Let me make sure they're not mistreating me. And I said, okay. When does it start? No, 1 minute. Let me hurry up. He was like, let me make sure no one's taking advantage of you. I said, okay. Um, he came to the junction and we walked to my place. And when they saw him, they were, all I heard was, our brother. I know you from the court. They were talking to him in court, my brother, my brother, my brother, like all the dudes around, because we it was like, okay, this is where you live. They need to put an iron gate to the door, make sure things are okay. Put your fridge this way, let it come move it. So when you open that door, it's always showing, everything not showing. I think I gave him $20 for Christmas. $20 is a lot of money at that time. It's like $4 grand. So I said, "Oh, Jack, gave me $20." And I was grateful when he came to see the place. He said, "Make sure no one use you. Whatever you pay, make sure it come out of rent. Make sure you get everything in writing, and don't build anything like that place you did." And look what happened. He said it blew alright. You like it? Yeah, okay. So okay, I gave him $20. He left. He said okay. Now, I was kind of happy to see him too, because people sort of like fear him, which is interesting. They fear the government court system. They fear police, anything that has to do, because a lot of them steal stuff and they stay in there, they're not supposed to. But anyway, let me not get off topic. About few days later, no, next day, he bought a big thing of a bag of coal, These fat, ripe, beautiful plantain and oil. He showed up on a bike with those things for me. Now, the first thing I did was I didn't let anyone in the apartment. I had them put it down on the porch. And I looked at him, I said, thank you. Immediately, my spirit shifted to me taking out my hair. The sun was shining. Took out my hair, let the sun hit my head. And I asked my bloodline to shield me. That's all. And I left those things right where to put it. The next morning, it wasn't there. And that's the last time I saw him. Because I understand in this game of life, everyone has to eat. You have to eat. Yeah. If you're part of a system, you're part of the system. You're not divert from it. Liberia is hard. Someone gave you $20 bag of coal. It's like $5. Everything he's bought took a substantial amount out of the money I given him. But my spirit said, don't touch those things, leave those things right there. And then I washed my face. I heard someone saying, you're not going to work like fly, something else, she old, she blah, blah, blah. I left everything there. The next morning, I think it was New Year's Eve, right? Yeah. The next morning, it was New Year's Day, so I didn't say anything. The second day, I woke up petty, raw. Y'all gonna steal my car. I stole all my things, but I know who took it because I heard them when she came and said she would not put those things inside. I'm big on energy. But I looked at my brother, my uncle, and I told him thank you. That was the first and last time I saw him. I didn't see him afterwards. Yeah, so, and then after that, I started looking for a place for myself. And every day it started being the same thing. I'll see different faces. People talk about current or whatever. And, we went at it. Like, I'm not afraid of anyone. We went at it. And, yeah, that's what happened. That's how I ended up. Oh, no. That's not how I ended up here. Let me finish. Oh, 27. God, Beatrice. Okay. And then I started looking for apartments. I actually went walking around different places I've seen before. And one of the places, the last place I went to was actually very pretty, but out of my price range. And the guy told the motorcycle to take me to this agency that have like a lot of properties, and they do. But again, her team was still trying to blacklist me. I mean, they took me up, they took the money, I fill out every form, and then they try to insert their power. And I was like, by this point, I'm already hip to the game, And I fought back. Like plus they charged me $30. Oh my goodness. You know how much that is in Liberian currency? Sure. We went at it. Hey, sorry guys, I had to take care of something very fast. It was urgent. But I think I left off at the rental agency giving me the runaround. I remember I went there, sat there for like 2 to 3 hours one day, and I'm like, you're so patient. And I was just sitting there very calm. For some reason, it's like, I don't know. Something kicked in, was just like, listen, you just relax, come and prepare, have your food and things ready. Just relax. I was calm. Didn't show up to the agent didn't show up to 3 to 4 hours later. The other guy was just in he off is playing with his phone and asking me, trying to get me to talk. And at that point, I think I was just fed up. I stopped talking, but I wasn't angry because I knew I was going to get a place. But yeah, one day I went there on a Saturday. Was supposed to meet up. They showed, no one was there. The office, everything was locked. Um, and I went all the way back home. The next day, on a Monday, I showed up and I was like, you know what? Saturday is over with. You were supposed to we were supposed to meet up. You didn't show, whatever. I'm here now. So then it took me all around again and found this place. Like I said, when I had the money to put down the deposit, and he was like, "Oh no, you don't wanna." He said something in code, whatever he said to the guy, and we'll come back. And I was like, I have the money. Why did you tell him I didn't have the money? I need to get more money. He was like, oh, because you don't just want to pay person, whatever. I read through the BS. You're thinking I'll find someone try to blacklist. You're thinking I'll give up and say I'm tired. You found the right person to mess with. I don't work like that. But anyways, we left. I called him the next day. I was supposed to come get people money. He answered. I remember the play. I showed up, pay my money. The day I was supposed to move in, I went a day before to talk to this other to finalize things with the moving company that I've already spoken with. I said moving company, but they're usually lined up. Those trucks and stuff usually line up. You go and get the ones you want. Speak with the person. I went to finalize things with them and said, okay, tomorrow morning, okay? I already paid. They got the money. I got my receipt. But when I went, I saw this other truck, very big. Guy in front. I spoke with the owner. He was like, he didn't know about next morning. He said, what are you doing today? I said, nothing. Everything I fully paid. He said, well, we're going to moving the stuff today. I said, okay. I paid close to twice the amount, but the truck was very spacious, and I felt like it was a spiritual thing. Like it was just a spirit way of saying you're moving today. You don't know what plans, what people are doing. Preparing to do tomorrow. You're moving today. Big old truck. It showed up. Everybody was like, "Yeah, just what are you doing? What are you doing?" No, moving. Open the door. It packed stuff. Stuff wasn't packed. We put it together. We put everything that gives a nice tip. They can put all my stuff together. Even when I got here, the gate that wasn't usually like locked, they locked the gates and stuff. Why? I guess they went out of party because I gave them the full money. And I remember the property manager telling me, said, he big man. As soon as he got all the money, it was like, I big man, you can't be treating me, having me wait for you, and blah, blah, blah. I mean, whatever. Like, his mouth bossy. He started talking, even when I said bossy, whatever. He left. I haven't seen him ever since. It's been like almost 4 months. But whatever, when we got here, I had my key to the place, I had my key to the door, got here, opened the gate. It wasn't so hard to just put my hand through, open the gate, and the stuff that I needed to open. Brought my stuff upstairs. I tipped them very well. Everybody was happy. Yes. That it did. But that's how faith and that's how things happens for me. So when I tell you something good, I'm good. When I do something that it's gonna work out, I already know it's gonna work out when I start doing it. It doesn't matter if I have to kick someone off nearby mountain or go to space and come back. Whatever happened, I'm here. I'm happy. I'm grateful. But I like the place. No one, I've seen a couple of people here and there, whatever. Downstairs, there's a bunch of teenagers in that apartment. They're low-key a little nasty too. Whatever. All I know, I don't have to deal with that guy. And then even when I was moving my stuff that day, he tried to tell me, so I didn't tell him. What did I tell you for? We all stopped speaking to each other by, like, after a month. Nobody was speaking to each other. I stayed there for 2.5 months. Nobody, 2 months. No, nobody. We weren't speaking to each other. Because he tried to say he's from my place, like, oh yeah, yeah. Because people try to insert their power and they didn't notice, how to fight back. And the beautiful thing, and one thing about Town is, a lot of interesting phenomenon occurred when I was there. I remember when I first got there, people were selling sand or making bricks. It's beautiful, well, not beautiful. The storm hit, and I guess it changed the atmosphere, and the sand solidified to big black hard rocks. No sand. The whole place solidified. But here's the thing, Town was demolished. Maybe few people on the other side. No people no longer there. I saw on one of my YouTubers, they demolished the place. Yeah, they demolished. Okay, whatever. I'm done. I'm here. I'm good. I'm grateful to the bloodline, to my Nimbadians, to all of my Dons, my Gil, my Yakubas, baby. Your girl is good. I'm truly grateful to you all for strength and courage, and for this blood that runs through my vein. Thank you always for your love and your support and protection. Town, your girl is here, baby. Okay, bye. Let me not. I'm gonna make this video longer than it needs to be. Bye, guys. It's in the evening now. Bye.